Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Swamy Vijay's EMRS, KVS, and NVS Tier 2 PGT and TGT English online class. In this class, we are going to discuss Alexander Pope and his one of the most famous mock epics or poems, The Rape of the Lock. So, without any delay, let us begin this class. So, Alexander Pope belongs to which age?
Augustine.
Augustan age. What are the other names given to this Augustan age?
Enlightenment.
Neoclassical.
Okay, under neoclassical age, we come age of Pope. Then, what are the names of other ages?
Enlightenment.
Johnson.
One by one. Ashna ma'am, you please continue.
Okay. Age of Johnson. Age of Dryden. Age of reasoning.
Okay, then what is this age of enlightenment?
I think
The other name of Augustine is.
Okay, now Snehalata ma'am, you please speak.
Yes, sir. This Enlightenment age is the other name of Augustine age. So, where Alexander Pope was very popular.
Right, fine. So likewise, I'll be asking questions and you have to answer to those questions. So Alexander Pope or age of Pope comes under the neoclassicalism, correct?
yes, sir.
Neoclassicalism. What is the meaning of the word neo?
New.
New. Then what is this neoclassicalism? That means when Shakespeare, before Shakespeare, the time of poetry or work written was considered as classical poetry. Now can you tell me what is the age where this classical poetry was written?
And early medieval.
Because we need to study the classicalism also, romanticism also. So we need to know about these terms and when they were actually used. So all this information we need to know. I wanted to check how much you are reading, what you are reading. So that's why I'll be asking questions in between. Not like one track lessons. Alexander Pope is a very famous personality. And he was born on 21st May 1688. And he was dead on 30th May 1744. He was an English poet, translator and a satirist, and he belongs to Augustan age, age of reason. Foremost English poet of early 18th century, and he is a master of heroic couplet. What is couplet? In Hindi it is called doha. That means 2 lines poetry which ends with a rhyming word at the end of each line. So that is called couplet. So heroic couplet means what? Can anybody tell me what is the heroic couplet?
Iambic pentameter.
Okay.
Lines which rhymes.
Right. Mansa ma'am? Mansa?
Hello.
Yes ma'am. Tell me. What is heroic couplet?
Actually, sir, I forgot. Like we use it in epics, and I know.
You must have heard about heroic simile in Paradise Lost.
Yes.
Now he has used heroic couplet. So what is a heroic simile? What is the difference between a simile and a heroic simile?
Sir, actually, I don't know, sir.
Okay, Mahesh sir. Mahesh.
Sir, heroic couplet is the self-contained, complete self-contained thoughts. In those 2 lines, couplet where rhyme each other. It's a complete self-contained thought.
Okay.
Heroic couplet.
See, you will get many questions on poetic devices, literary devices. So please come prepared to class. Please understand the importance of those literary terms, literary devices, because if we don't know what is a couplet, and if we don't know what is a heroic couplet, and what is the difference between a simile and heroic simile is also called or known as epic simile. Epic simile was brought into the English literature by John Keats. He used exaggerated similes. He compared the fallen angels with 10 or 12 lines. So those are called epic similes, heroic similes. So in the same way, this poet Alexander Pope is well known for master of heroic couplet. So he had done the mastery in writing the heroic couplet. Couplet is Doha, 2 lines poem. And he is a master of mock epic. Now what is an epic? Who will tell me what is an epic?
It's a very long poem.
Ashna ma'am, first you tell me.
Okay, it's a very long poem which runs like very multiple volumes, and it would highlight the good heats of like a prominent character, maybe hero kind of.
I posted that screenshot in WhatsApp group, ma'am. If you
I
had
just
seen
saw
that
that
one.
before. Yes, sir. Just before login, I only saw that. I couldn't go through it.
Fine. But actually these things were shared in WhatsApp group, I suppose 2 days back, I suppose. It's okay, fine. Snehata ma'am, tell me, what is an epic and what is what is an epic?
So long narrative, sir. In Telugu, we call it as Itihasalu, like Ramayana, Mahabharata. So which is very, yes, sir, with the multiple chapters.
Okay, right.
Volumes.
Because as we are going to study the rape of the lock, which is known as a mock epic, we should know what is an epic, what are the features of an epic. Then only we can understand how Alexander Pope did parody of the epic written by John Milton, the Paradise Lost, and he involved all the features of the epic for a trivial story, a trivial plot of the rape of the lock. So we should know the background information. And when it comes to poetry, yesterday I told you that we should know the literary devices, the poetic devices, figures of speech used in that particular poem. I'll explain anyhow. So he is master of heroic couplet and he's a master of epic, mock epic. Okay, let's move to the next one. He early life, mainly self-educated. He was not sent to school, or he did not go to school because of his physical deformity. He has had hunchback, so that's why he felt very lonely. He felt very depressed during his age, or during his teenage, or during his early age, or throughout his age. So he is mostly a negative person, and he is a Catholic. So he is a hardcore believer of Catholicism, and he is a precocious boy. Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of the word precocious? What is the meaning of this word precocious boy?
Just guessing, sir. Could be very careful.
Okay. Others, you can Google it and you can tell me what is the meaning of this adjective precocious. And he suffered from long disease. So that's why all these incidents or events made him to feel very, very sick in and out. Yes, Ashna, tell me.
Yes, sir. Very careful so that nothing happens negatively.
So he was a sick child from the birth, from the beginning. That's why he was taken too much care by parents, and he was not allowed to mingle or move around with many. So he had very less friends, and he had very less touch with the formal education. So he himself educated, and he was quite cynic, or negative about the society and the mainstream society. And his early works include Ode on Solitude, Loneliness, and Paraphrase of St. Thomas a Kempis, and it was written at the age of 12. And there are famous quotations. 99.99% you will get one of these quotations in examination. So they will give you a quotation, and they will ask you who said this or who wrote this quotation. So these are the very famous quotations written by Alexander Pope. To err he is human, to forgive divine. A little learning is a dangerous thing, for fools rush in where angels fear to tread. I suppose every literature student must have come across or must have read these lines once a while. So to err is human, to forgive is divine. A little learning is a dangerous thing, for fools rush in where angels fear to tread. You have to make a note of all the important quotations said by the famous personalities in English literature. I could remember the material or the book which I purchased long back for preparing while I was preparing for junior lecture in Andhra Pradesh. Last 2 pages, I suppose, if I could remember, in the last 2 pages, they had given the list of the famous quotations. Under each quotation, they had given the name of the writer. So likewise, you have to maintain one notes where you have to write all the important lines and quotations from the English literature and who said it. Third step is whether he said simply or did he tell that sentence to somebody else. Then who said that sentence and to whom the sentence was being spoken or said. Those things to be written, and you maintain that kind of list hereafter. Then the Rape of the Lock, the one which we are going to discuss today, written on suggestion of John Carroll. It's a mock epic and it is an incident of a lock of hair. I'll show you what is the lock of hair, and it was written in 1712 and then revised in 1714. And then he had written very famous one, an essay on criticism, published in 1711. It is a didactic poem. Critical principles of criticism he had written in that book. So an essay of criticism is not an essay, it is a poem, and it is a didactic poem. So remember, because they'll ask you objective questions directly from these bits and pieces of information. Then another one he had written, that one, the Dunciad. It was published in 1728. It is a satire on dullness. Okay, and Lewis Theobald mocked in this poem the Dunciad, because Lewis Theobald criticized Alexander Pope. So to to take a revenge on Lewis Theobald, he had written the Dunciad, and he made the Lewis Theobald as the central character of this poem, and it is a satire on his dullness, because Lewis Theobald was very slow in criticism also. Then comes next one, other important works, an essay on man, very important, and then epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot, an essay on man and an epistle to Dr. Arbuthnot. Now can anybody tell me what is the meaning of the word epistle? E-P-I-S-T-L-E.
Letter.
Letters.
Correct. You may think that whether you get questions on these minute areas. Yes, of course, definitely, because you may read randomly, but if they pinpointedly ask a small question and a small word, if you don't know the meaning of that word, then we'll get struck. So we need to learn even the basics also. Then literary associates, who are his contemporaries or who are his friends. As I told you, he had very less number of friends, and his friends were Swift and Congreve. Jonathan Swift, okay, and William Congreve. Now can you tell me what is the famous work of art produced by Jonathan Swift?
Gulliver Travels.
Gulliver's Travel.
Right, Gulliver Travels. Okay, and
Battle of Books.
The modest proposal.
One by
The
one.
Battle of Books, sir. The Battle of Books.
Battle of Books.
A
Right.
Tale of Love.
A Tale of Tub.
A Modest Proposal.
A Modest Proposal. Right. Can you tell me what is this summary briefly of Modest Proposal, Manasa, where he advised to do something rare, correct?
Yes, it is about he's mocking English people for treating Irish, and he asked them to. I forgot that about the Irish children. They have to eat. Yes, eat.
Modest Proposal, right. And Congreve, The Way of the World, and Addison and Steele. And these Addison and Steele are associated with the Spectator and the Tatler. What are these? Spectator and the Tatler? What are these?
Periodicals.
Periodicals. The Spectator and the Tatler. Addison and Steele are associated with these magazines, also we can call as the magazines. Then We'll go with the 5 questions. First question. Jyoti ma'am, please read.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Which of the following best explains why the rape of the lock is called a mock epic? It imitates Greek epics in language but not in theme. It means it treats a trivial social incident in the elevated style of epic poetry. It directly parodies Homer's Iliad. It ridicules epic poetry as a literary form. Second, sir.
Right. It treats a trivial social incident in the elevated style of epic poetry. Correct. Second question. Snehalata ma'am.
Yes, sir. The immediate occasion for writing the rape of Locke was a quarrel between two Protestant families, a dispute over inheritance, the theft of a lock of hair from Arbella femur, a political satire against the Whig aristocracy.
Whig aristocracy.
Okay, sir.
Right. So answer everybody I suppose sent. If you have noted, then you please send. The immediate occasion for writing the rape of the lock was the theft of a lock of hair from Arabella Fermor. So the rape of the lock is based upon a real incident happened in the London in the circle of Alexander Pope. Third question. Prince.
Which work of Alexander Pope lays down neoclassical principle of literary criticism? Essays on Man, Dunciad, Essays on Criticism, Epistle to Dr. Arthurnot.
Which work of Alexander Pope lays down neoclassical principles of literary criticism? An essay on criticism, right? Or an essay on man? It's an essay on criticism. Fourth question. Mahesh Kumar sir.
In the Dunciad, Pope primarily satirizes A. Religious hypocrisy, B. Political corruption, C. Moral degeneration of society, D. Intellectual dullness and bad writers. D, sir, intellectual dullness and bad writers.
Right. So in the Dunciad, Pope primarily satirizes intellectual dullness and bad writers. Whom did he mock in this poem? What is the name of the person?
Louis Theobald.
Louis Theobald.
Yeah.
Oh. Fifth question. Ashna, ma'am.
Which poetic form is most closely associated with Alexander Pope's mastery? Heroic couplet.
At least read all the 4 options. Read all the 4 options, Ashna.
Okay, sorry, sir. Blank verse, Penserian stanza, heroic couplet, Ottawa rima.
Right. The answer is, of course, heroic couplet. But can anybody explain the difference between blank verse and free verse?
Sir, in blank verse, no rhyming is there, but iambic pentameter is there. But in free verse, yes.
That is blank verse. What is free verse?
And both are absent in free verse, like Walt Whitman's on Lilacs Dryad in Elegy.
Okay.
Father of free verse.
If there is no rhyme and if there is no meter, it is called free verse. That's what you are telling, correct, friends?
Yes, sir. And father of free verse is Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman. Correct. Next, let's go to explanation part. Now, this is the rape of the lock. What is difference between hair and lock is? Hair is normal. Here you can see this girl has lock or locks. Okay. Strands of hair is also not the right word. So that's why the poet used lock only. L-O-C-K. Lock. So here you can see the hair in this fashion. It is called lock. Okay. And the poem name is The Rape of the Lock. What is the meaning of the word here? Rape. Cutting of the lock. Instead of using cutting of the lock, the poet Alexander Pope made this little difficult. The rape of the lock means the cutting of hair. That hair is in this form. Left side the girl, the hair is which is displayed. This kind of hair, it is called lock. Okay. Now let us understand things which are very, very important examination point. Of course, I have written. I'll again one more time I'll show you the notes also, but here let me explain things clearly so that you will understand. See, the rape of the lock is a mock epic. To understand what is a mock epic, we should understand first what is an epic. So what is an epic? It is also called as a heroic poem. Mock epic is also called as a heroic poem. What is epic or a heroic poem? A long narrative poem on a serious subject told in a formal and elevated style and centered on a heroic or quasi-divine figure on whose actions depends the fate of a tribe, a nation, or the human race. That means it is like a story of quasi-divine figures or demigods, kings, which are very powerful, and each and every action or each and every thought which happens in their brain can manipulate or can challenge or can make thousands or lakhs of people to remain happy or to remain in sufferings. So for such kind of stature, if we take a character and if we deal that character and the story of that character in a very serious manner, then that type of poetry or that style of writing is called epic. And in English, there is only one epic, and that is John Milton's Paradise Lost. Can you tell me what is the name or what is the name of an epic which is not completed by John Keats? It is called fragmented epic.
Hyperion.
Hyperion, right, fine. So what are the kinds of epics are there? There are two kinds of epics are there. First one is a traditional epic. It is also known as folk or epic or primary epic. And what is this primary epic or traditional epic or folk epic? It was written versions of oral poems about a tribal or a national hero during warlike age. So they will explain or they will sing or they will narrate the story of a hero who won the war or who fought bravely in the battle. In examples, Iliad, Odyssey by Homer. It's a Greek literature written in ancient Greek. These are not English literatures. In English literature, we have only one epic, that is John Milton's Paradise Lost. Keats tried to write one more epic in English literature, but he was dead due to his disease, consumption or tuberculosis. And the second type of epic is literary epic, composed by individual poetic craftsmen in deliberate imitation of traditional form. So traditional form of epic is only transmitted from word to word or in oral form only, whereas the pen down form is called literary epic. And examples are Aeneid by Virgil. It was written in the Latin literature. So you need to understand that epics are two types, traditional epic and literary epic. And the example for traditional epic is Iliad, Odyssey by Homer, and literary epic example is Aeneid by Virgil, because they may ask you these kind of questions. Now, what are the features of an epic? Epic starts in media res. That means it starts in the middle of the things. It doesn't begin from like a baby birth, then gradually grows and then reaches to his adult age, then he comes down to the old age. It's like not like in that order. In media res, always epics begin in media res, in the middle. That means in the story, suddenly the characters come, suddenly the story projected or appears. And one of the most important characteristics of epic is invocation to muse. So at the beginning, they'll offer prayer to the God or Almighty to bestow them with powers to complete writing of that particular piece of or work of art. So invocation to muse. Then machinery will be there. The supernatural elements, ghosts, devils and demons, all those part of the literature, that is called machinery. Epic machinery means if these kind of supernatural elements are included in an epic, those are called epic machinery. and they wrote these epics in the grand style. They don't use simple language, they don't use simple literary terms, they use very difficult grandiose manner. They'll write this epic. And epic divided into 12 books. This is standard rule. Epic must be divided into 12 books. Even Paradise Lost also in 12 books. And book number 3 and book number 9 are prominent. In book number 3, I suppose, if I could recollect now, the fallen angel comes out of the hell and they reach the planet Earth, and then they manipulate the Adam and Eve. Okay, so what is the name of the fallen angel who comes from hell to spoil the God's creation on planet Earth? What is the name of that fallen angel?
Saturn.
Saturn. Right. And epic is matter and manner are equal in nature. What is matter? It is the subject. And what is the manner? It is the form or the style of writing of the book or poem. If we are talking about the battle of like Mahabharata, if we take the battle of Kurukshetra, I suppose the battle Kurukshetra only, Kurukshetra Sangrama. If you take the battle of Kurukshetra, it was considered as one of the bloodiest or dangerous battles ever fought on the land of India. And if that incidents were not narrated or described in a very great good language or standard language, then it loses the intensity. So the style of the epic and the matter of the epic, if both are equal, then only it can be called as an epic. So the matter and the manner are dealt equally in the epic. And here Aeneid, Paradise Lost, Hyperion. So Aeneid and Paradise Lost and Hyperion is a fragmentary epic. John Keats tried to complete this epic, but he couldn't. Then we have epic similes or Homeric similes. Actually, Homer introduced this similes, so that's why these are called Homeric similes and epic similes. Simile is a comparison between two things. Epic simile is means what? Exaggerated comparison. So what is here? There are two words you can see. I'll try to enlarge it. Okay, here. Here you can see what happened. I'll write anyhow. So here, when one thing is compared with another thing, that it is called, there are two things. Fallen angels are compared with bees, and the first subject comparison, when two things are being compared, the first subject which is compared first is tenor, it is called technically, and the second one is called vehicle. So what is the difference between a small normal simile and an epic simile? In epic simile, the vehicle is, the secondary subject is exaggerated, the vehicle is elaborated. Here fallen angels look like bees, but then he explained the fallen angels features in one single sentence. If I could remember, even the invocation of Paradise Lost also runs into 17 lines or 18 lines in single sentence. It runs in 17 lines, but the entire 17 lines are in one single sentence. And this epic simile or Homeric simile, when the secondary subject and primary subject, so epic simile or Homeric simile is secondary subject which is called vehicle is elaborated. And I.A. Richards coined these terms tenor and vehicle in English literature. I.A. Richards, he is the one who coined these words tenor and vehicle. So tenor is the primary subject and vehicle is the secondary subject. So let me tell you, epic means it is, the story is about quasi divine figures or great kings and queens and rulers, and it has matter, and it is the matter is dealt in the same level, the manner also. That means the style of writing the poem as well as the topic or the subject of the poem, both are serious in nature. That is called an epic. Now what is a mock epic? In mock epic, like example Alexander Pope, The Rape of the Lock, the matter is very trivial, but the way it was dealt was very, very serious in nature, and that creates comedy in the drama or comedy in the poem. So if the matter is serious and if the manner is not serious, or if the matter is trivial but that was dealt in a serious manner, then that kind of disassociation, mismatch of writing anything or poem is called a mock epic. So in the mock epic, matter and manner are mismatched, and this is the reason why the mock epic creates comedy or humor. Actually, the right word is humor in the story. So when there is a mismatch between matter and manner, that is an epic, mock epic. When there is a match between matter and the manner, then that is called an epic. So the difference between epic and mock epic I explained in the simplest possible way. Here you can see, for example, epic simile. In the first book of Paradise Lost, the rustling of the fallen angels' wings brought to the mind the time-tried image of buzzing bees which. So the bees are explained in this whole sentence. So when the primary subject is compared to the secondary subject, when the tenor and the vehicle are there, and when the vehicle is in elaborative way or exaggerated, then that type of simile is called epic simile, or it is also known as Homeric simile. Okay, so this is the introduction for the poem The Rape of the Lock. Okay, now let us come back. I will share the screen from my tab and I'll explain the story. Even the PPT is also ready, that also I will share. I just gave my notes to ChatGPT and asked the ChatGPT to prepare the PPT for today's class, and it prepared the PPT. So I'll show you that PPT also. First let me open that and then I'll show you. Where have I stored materials? Okay, here is there. The Rape of the Lock. View, I suppose. Okay, it's okay, let it be like this. Can you see the screen? Is it visible? Okay, right. So this one I had prepared using artificial intelligence. It prepared because there was less time, so I use this one. Now I may not move it because I don't use PPTs generally. I use always Google Slides. So now how to view this in full form? Okay, no problem. Let us start. And here you can see. I suppose if I come back and I cannot scroll down. Okay, so let me use it and quickly and explain. Then I have written notes also, that also I will explain. The Rape of the Lock is a poem written by Alexander Pope. It comes under the genre mock epic poem, and it was written in the age of Augustan age. Then the introduction of the poem, if you see, The Rape of the Lock is a mock epic poem by Alexander Pope. It was written to reconcile two Catholic families. There were two Catholic families which are close in circle of Alexander Pope, and there was some problem with the two families, and he wanted to unite these two families after a trivial incident. And his friend asked him to write something like a poem or something which makes create some kind of humor, so that these two Catholic families forget about the incident and then they'll reconcile with each other. It was first published in 1712 in 2 cantos. Very important information. Rape of the Lock was first published in 1712 in only 2 cantos. Later it was expanded into 5 cantos in 1714. Then what is the occasion of this poem? The occasion of this poem is, it is actually based on a real life incident. A young man, Lord Peter, the original story I am telling you, Lord Peter, he cut a lock of hair from Arabella Fermor, and because of that the quarrel started between these two families. It is like a insult to a woman's dignity, cutting a hair by a man. So that's why these two families fought and quarreled with each other. The act caused a quarrel between the two aristocratic families. They are not normal ordinary commoners in England. They belong to aristocratic families, so royal families, rich people. Then characters are here. Now let me just come back and let me explain the story in my way. Otherwise, reading PPT is not teaching. PPTs generally I don't, not generally, I stopped using long back PPTs, because PPT, wherever I go, I tell them that PPT means powerless point presentation, pointless point presentation. So let me come to my notes. Okay, just give me 1 second, I'll share the screen. Start broadcast. Is screen is visible to all of you? Okay. And what do you want? Just a minute, let me sidebar. It will be clear. If I use spotlight, then there will be no disturbance. Okay, let me start the poem. I had written whatever the information is required, important in examination point of view. I read a lot, but in those days I used to read a lot, and after Tier 1 examination preparation, I am trying to recollect whatever I have read and written. So slowly I'll retain or recall all the information. The Rape of the Lock is a poem written by Alexander Pope. Okay, and it is a mock epic. So already I told you what is an epic and what is a mock epic. So in an epic, the matter, that means the subject, and the manner. What is the manner here? The style. That means subject of the poem and the style with which it was dealt, both are equal in nature. So that's why it is called a mock epic. The matter of the poem and the manner of the poem, both are equal nature, both are serious in way. So that is why it is called a mock epic. What is a mock epic? In mock epic, there may be two types of combinations. The subject may be very trivial, but the manner used to dealt with that subject is very serious. So that's why there is a mismatch. Or they may take very serious subject and deal with a simple manner or in a silly manner, then it is also called the mock epic. Now in this matter and manner, in the Rape of the Lock, the subject is actually very trivial, very petty issue between two families, but it was dealt in a very serious manner. So this is the combination. The matter is trivial, but the manner in which it was dealt is very serious. So this is the combination of the Rape of the Lock. So that's why it is a mock epic genre, and it creates humor whoever reads that poem. And it was first published in 1712 in 2 cantos, and in 1714 it was later revised and published in 5 cantos. And it was written by Alexander Pope when John Carroll, his friend, requested him to write this poem to solve some issue between two Catholic aristocratic families. Okay, and it is based on a real incident which happened in the Roman Catholic aristocratic families. So in those olden days, the Roman Catholic Orthodox Christians, so something happened in the family because of some incident. They started having the differences, and they had a quarrel. To solve that issue, John Carroll, who is a friend of Alexander Pope, requested him to write something and make it popular, so that these two aristocratic Roman Catholic families forget about that incident and get united again. Now this is a real story. So left side characters are real characters, and this right side characters are fictitious or fiction characters created by Alexander Pope. So the main characters in the real story is Lord Peter, Arabella Fermor, and John Carroll. These are the real characters, and the characters names given to these real characters in the Rape of the Lock is Lord Peter is shown as the Baron, Arabella Fermor is shown as Belinda. And we need to know that these two belongs to aristocratic families, and Arabella Fermor is or was a very beautiful, pretty young woman. So obviously Lord Peter fall into the in love with Arabella Fermor. when he proposed Arabella Fermor, and Arabella Fermor refused his love. So that was the rivalry between, or hatred, while Lord Peter carries in his heart, and he wanted to do something to upset Arabella Fermor to take revenge also. So that's why in real life what happened, Lord Peter cut Arabella Fermor's lock. And now why did he cut only lock? Why couldn't he do something else? Because this lock or hair is always associated with women's beauty. I may not write very clearly here. Women's beauty, but what type of, women's beauty, but what type of feature or feeling it is? Absurdity, I suppose that is the word I have written. Absurdity, that means a woman in the aristocratic families in those days, they give lots and lots of importance to their physical appearance. Even a small slight damage to their physical appearance makes them to cry and weep and suffer for days or months together. So this is a lock which is a very trivial, which is generally a dead skin or dead cells, but it is associated with a woman's beauty. And if that woman's beauty, that means if that lock or hair is very beautiful and soft, they feel pride about having such kind of features. So in that Elizabeth, in England, these women have this kind of vanity, or they go with this kind of pride of making themselves look very, very beautiful. And Lord Peter did this kind of damage. He cut the lock on of Arabella Fermor, and that created the rift between these two aristocratic families. So then John Skerrill came and asked Alexander Pope to write a poem, make the poem silly or simple or funny, so that these two families forget. So he created the characters Baron. Now listen very clearly. The character Baron is maybe hero, or you can say, and Belinda is the heroine of this play, who is very, very beautiful woman in London. And the story begins, the poem begins in Canto 1. 5 cantos are there. The poem begins in the first canto when the Belinda was sleeping and having a dream in her sleep. But the dream is also guided by her guardian angels. Ariel is the guardian angel of Belinda. Okay, now this Ariel, Umbriel, Brillante, Momentilla, and Crispissa and Jeffrita, these are all actually slymphs, slymphs, and these are supernatural creatures. Now see, Alexander Pope has used this machinery, supernatural creatures, into the play and created one of the features of an epic. And at the beginning of the canto also, or at the beginning of the poem also, he invoked muse, prayer. He offered prayer. And when the canto 1 begins, Belinda was sleeping. Even it was around 10 o'clock in the morning, but still she was sleeping, and in her sleep she was having a dream about a man who assassinate her dignity. But that sleep, that dream also guided by her guardian angel. The guardian angel is Ariel, and this guardian angel is showing a dream to Belinda and warning something wrong and bad is going to happen to her on that particular day. So Belinda woke, and these are slims, whatever the word pronunciation, these are all supernatural creatures. Okay, so she wakes up very late in the morning, Belinda, and she remembers about that bad dream, and she must be thinking about the bad dream when she woke up, and when she started dressing herself, and when she saw the love letters written to her by many men in the London, because there were many men in the London who were fascinated or spellbound by Belinda's beauty, and they were all behind her, and they proposed to her, and they wrote so many love letters to her. So when it was her daily routine of reading the love letters written by her lovers, so when she read all the love letters, she forget about the warning given by her guardian angel Ariel, and she completely forgets and then she started getting ready with the help of her maid Betty, Betty. All these names are very important because they will ask questions. What is the name of the character of maid of Belinda, or what is the name of guardian angel of Ariel, a guardian angel of Belinda, all these things. And Belinda has one lap dog, and the name of the lap dog is Shock. If I could remember, when I wrote KVS exam, this was the question asked. What is the name of the dog of Belinda's dog? It is Shock. SHO, Shike. Shock is the name of the Belinda's dog. So when Belinda started getting ready with the help of her maid Betty, because she has to attend one function or a party in Hampton Court, because all these aristocratic people, rich people, they don't have any other work, so they wake late night, and then they wake up morning very late, and then they dress up and they go to these kind of parties and they enjoy, they drink, they dance, and they enjoy. So she started getting ready and she started wearing a lot of jewelry. The names of jewelry are there, like she used one jewelry supplied from India. So many different types of jewelry she wears, and she makes up her very, very beautiful. And after completion of her makeup, that was a very big, like some kind of what do you call the perfume she used from Arabia. Although description is there, and she gets ready finally with the help of her maid Betty. So Canto 1 completes there. Her makeup tutorial is in the Canto 1. Then Ariel warns all her subordinates like Umbriel, Brillianta, Momentilia, Crispissa and Jeffrite that something bad is going to happen to Belinda. So you all have to take care about Belinda. And she made these supernatural creatures, sylphs, in charge of few things, like Ariel made Umbrella in charge of spleen of Belinda. Who is the in charge of spleen of Belinda? It is Umbrella. You have to remember, write down. And Ariel made Brillianta in charge of eardrops of Belinda. Eardrops of Belinda must be taken care by Brillianta. And Momentilla is in charge of Belinda's watch, and Crispissa is in charge of Belinda's hair. Main character Crispissa is in charge of Belinda's hair, and Jeffrita is in charge of Belinda's fan. That means she wears a lot of jewelry, so everything is taken care by Ariel with the help of these kind of sylphs. So Umbrella is in charge of spleen, which is actually the one which creates positive thoughts of in the mind of Belinda, or negative thoughts in the mind of Belinda. So Brillianta is in charge of eardrops of Belinda, and Momentilla is in charge of Belinda's watch, Crispissa is in charge of Belinda's hair, and Jeffrita is in charge of Belinda's fan, and Ariel is a whole in charge, but as well as she is in charge of Belinda's dog Shock. So Ariel is in charge. Ariel is taking care of Belinda's shocks. That means they predict that something bad is going to happen to Belinda. So all these people are very cautious and they are very clear to protect Belinda under the guidance of Ariel. So then first act, she completed her makeup, and then she started moving to Hampton Court through Thames River in a very decorated boat. Those aristocratic people, rich people, they travel by these what you call beautifully decorated boats. You can call nowadays yachts. Now when she sat, she was dressed up and very beautifully, and she was looking very, very pretty and beautiful. So all people started looking at her, and our Belinda is also passing smiles and smiling at everybody who is looking at her, because she was having that kind of a pride that she looks very beautiful. So she carries that pride in her personality. So she reaches finally the Hampton Court. Remember this name of the place, Hampton Court, where the rich and aristocratic people or wealthy people meet in the late mornings, like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and they come there to party. And when Belinda comes, she started playing one card game, and the name of the card game is Ombre. O-M-B-R-E. This is the name of the game she start playing. And in that party, there was even the Byron was also there in the party. Okay, when he looks at Belinda, he was fascinated by her beauty, and he remembers how Belinda refused his love, and he wanted to teach some one lesson to Belinda because she refused his love. So he wanted to take revenge, and they at the beginning of the I mean, when Belinda reaches the Hampton Court, she started playing Ombre, the card game with two unknown men, and she defeats those two men. Then suddenly the Baron enters into the picture, and he starts playing the game, Umber card game, with the Belinda. Initially he was able to what you call win slightly, but finally in the game of Ombre, Belinda wins and Baron was defeated. When Belinda wins and Baron, she went with her friends and she started celebrating her victory over the win on Baron in the card game Ombre. So for petty issues, what do you call, incidents also, they'll glorify and they will enjoy. When these things were happening, suddenly Baron smells somebody drinking coffee. I suppose Belinda only drinking coffee. The moment he smells the coffee, again the thought came into his mind to cut the beautiful hair or lock of Belinda. But in that party, he was not able to understand what to do. Then suddenly another character, Clarissa, remember this character, very, very important character. Clarissa came and she gave scissors to Baron to cut the lock of from lock Belinda. So Baron somehow went inside or near Belinda, and he successfully cut two locks of Belinda, and Clarissa gave the scissor to Baron to cut the lock. There are so many times I come across this question: who gave the scissor to Baron in the Hampton Court to cut the lock of Belinda? It is Clarissa. Okay, and there are other characters also there, like this character Celestine and Sir Plume. These two are the lovers, and when the lock was cut, suddenly it creates a great upset in the mind of Belinda, and Belinda started crying, and she went to her friend Thelistris. Belinda went near Thelistris, and fell into the lap of Thelistris, and she started crying. Then Thelistris came to know that Baron was the one who cut the lock of Belinda, and Baron was started celebrating cutting lock of Belinda because he thought it was a great victory, and he was like jumping and dancing in front of all the wealthy people, and it was a great humiliation for Belinda that she has lost her lock, and she knew that it was cut by Baron. So when Thelistris knew about Baron act, then Thelistris is the friend of Belinda, and Thelistris went and told Sir Plumes. Who is Sir Plume? Sir Plume is a lover of Thelistris. Thelistris went and told Sir Plumes that this heinous act committed by Baron, he had cut the lock of Belinda, and he told that you went and teach a lesson to Baron. But what actually happened is, while Baron was about to cut the hair or lock of Belinda, Ariel cautious these supernatural creatures, and Baron went twice he went, two times he went to cut the lock of Belinda, and the earrings or ear drops, it started ringing because these sylphs, which are the taking care of protecting the dignity or protecting or safeguarding Belinda, they rung the bells. 3 times they rung the eardrop bells, but Belinda did not understand. So third time Baron went and successfully cut the lock. So these all things are like epic machinery, epic qualities, epic manner, the style of writing this poem. Though it was a trivial incident of cutting a hair, it was shown in such a way like equal to an epic. So when Sir Plume went and confronted or spoke to Baron and threatened, Baron was not in a mood to listen or to follow Sir Plume's act, and Belinda correct, I am also forgot. Belinda was so unhappy, and she started having a fight with Baron, and Belinda were having fight. Baron was excited that he had the locks of Belinda, and Belinda was feeling humiliated in front of all them because she has lost her lock, and she associates her locks or her hair for beauty. And for a woman like Belinda, losing lock is very very difficult to bear. So at the end of the story, what happens when these things are happening, then finally people come and tries to console, and in between Clarissa also went to Belinda, and Clarissa says that you should not only focus on your beauty is temporary, a woman should have good character and all those things. She gives a speech, but nobody listens, and Baron and Sir Plume, or Baron and Belinda, they started having an argument and fight. So at the end of the play, what happens, the play came to an end by telling these things. Like, I suppose it is John Cyril only at the end of the play, a poem comes and he says that, and he tells to Belinda that you should not worry about your lock because the lock has reached heaven. In the case like Bernice's lock. So Bernice is a woman whose lock has turned into star because Bernice sacrificed her lock to protect her husband from some kind of a danger. So Bernice is the queen of Egypt. Bernice is the queen of Egypt, and she wanted to protect her husband from a great danger. So she sacrificed her lock, and that lock had finally turned into a star. So like Bernice's lock, even Belinda's lock also now it has turned into a star, and the London astronomers will always talk about this Belinda's lock. So Belinda need not to worry about her lock because it has now finally turned into a beautiful, or what you call, glowing star in the sky, and people will talk about her lock. So in that way, finally the poem ends consoling the Belinda's what you call crying or whatever. So this is the poem written in a mock epic manner because the theme of the poem or the subject matter of the poem is very very trivial in nature, but it was dealt with all the epic characteristics or features of an epic. So that's why this poem is known as a mock epic. So this is the story of the poem, and examination point of view, whatever I have written here, you must understand what is the message or what is the moral or what is the theme of this poem is. Like the women associate their beauty and virtue, but Clarissa tries to clarify that a woman must have a virtuous nature, not just a physical beauty. So in those days, women, not only in those days, every time I suppose, if I'm not wrong, so woman is considered only valuable when she looks beautiful. So that was the idea of this poem, and this is the poem, and this is summary, and these are the important characteristics of the poem, the rape of the lock. Now let us come back to the PPT. In that PPT also lot of information is there in examination point of view. So let me come out of this. I'll stop. Okay, here only I can stop share, correct? Okay. No, I want to share the PPT. Okay. Okay, so John Carroll, I suppose you can see the screen, correct? PPT is visible. What is happening? Okay, call. Too much technology. So John Carroll suggested Pope write the poem. Purpose was to make the families laugh and restore harmony. And then moving ahead, it's a mock epic or heroic comical poem. Use epic style for a trivial subject. Combines grandeur with mockery. Satirizes the artificial life of 18th century aristocracy. So those people during the 18th century, these aristocrats or aristocratic people, they had no work to do, especially those young people in their families. So they used to have a lot of free time, and they used to party, and even for the trivial things also, they make things very very complicated. Trivial matters also, trivial problems also, they make very very complicated. And what are the epic conventions used in this particular mock epic here is invocation of the muse like an epic, supernatural machinery, sylphs and gnomes, and grand battles. Battle between Belinda and Baron was shown like a battle between Saturn and the god. And formal speeches are there, and epic similes are being used. And then setting and society, set in a fashion. This entire poem is set in the fashionable London society. It focuses on vanity, beauty, fashion, and social rituals. Criticism of shallow values of the upper class. So it criticizes the shallow values of the upper classes. And characters is, of course, we know Belinda. She is a symbol of beauty and vanity, represents fashionable aristocratic woman. Baron represents pride and ambition, determined to possess Belinda's lock of hair. Period is epic heroes. Then supernatural machinery, we have sylphs, spirits of Cocytus. Ariel, chief sylph who protects Belinda. Gnomes, spirit of ill-natured woman, adds epic grandeur to trivial events. Then what is the structure of the poem? You need to write down this one. Of course, I'll share this, but write down it for your notes. It is divided into 5 cantos. Canto 1, introduction and sylphs. Canto 2, journey and preparations. Canto 3, the cutting of the lock. Canto 4, the quarrel. And Canto 5, resolution and apotheosis. Okay, these are 5 cantos and the themes of the 5 cantos. Then the game of Umber, card game described as an epic battle. Like, the battle between Saturn and the god, it was described here as a card game, that is Umbre. Satirical portrayal of leisure activities. Mock heroic language elevates trivial actions. Then the rape of the lock scene is the Baron cuts Belinda's lock. Climax of the poem, treated as a heroic crime in epic style. Then satire and theme, satire and vanity and pride of the aristocratic people in that age. Criticism of superficial aristocratic values. Contrast between trivial actions and epic seriousness. So the language used is written in heroic couplets, witty, polished and balanced language, use of irony and mockery. So what is the significance of the poem is, it's the best example of mock epic in English literature. Perfect representation of Augustan ideals, blends humor, satire and social criticism. So the conclusion is the poem turns a minor social incident into a grand epic, highlights the emptiness of aristocratic life, confirms Pope's mastery of satire and heroic couplets. So if I want to explain, I can also explain. People who are very busy in life, people who have lot of works in life, they don't have time to think about all these kind of petty silly issues. People who have lot of money, people who have lot of free time, and when they don't have any other work to do in their life, then they will think even for the simple silly small things also they'll make lot of issues. Even in our life also we come across such kind of people many a times. We might not have done anything great harm or a damage or any bad to anybody. Just something we might have done, and they made those things into, they will magnify those things in front of others, and they will make us to feel guilty in front of everybody, because those are the people who have no work, and they will look at each and every minute details in a minute way, in a microscopic way, to find out problems, and they will highlight those problems. Those are called attention seekers, I suppose. So if I start speaking like this, these are the characters who doesn't have any kind of work in life. So this is about the structure of the poem and the features of the mock epic and the summary of the mock epic, and that important information which I had written, like which sylph is in charge of which item of Belinda, and what is the name of the Belinda's dog, and all those things are in examination point of view very, very important. Now let us come to the long answer question. Okay, now I'll change view. Can you all see the screen? The screen is visible? Okay, fine. So it is 8:10. We have 20 minutes time to discuss, and of course I'll explain the feedback about your answers recently written and submitted to me. Okay, first let us read the question. Mansa ma'am, please read.
Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock is celebrated as a masterpiece of the mock epic form. Analyze how Pope uses the grandiose structure, style, and conventions of classical epic poetry to satirize the trivialities of fashionable 18th century English society. Focus on his treatment of the central incident, the portrayal of the heroine Belinda, and the role of the supernatural machinery.
Okay, so this is the question. Generally, you may not get these kind of elaborate questions, but anyhow, I thought like even if you get these kind of questions, then you must be in a position to write answers. So that's why elaborated little question was elaborated. Okay. So first let us understand. These are the answers written by you, printouts taken. So when I go through these answers, of course, answers are moderately written well. I don't have any problem. I don't have any anything to tell you anything negative about these answers. Of course, answers are written well, but there is always scope for improvisation. So first thing we need to know that the length of the answer must be maintained properly. If they have given in the question only, they have given within 120 to 150 words, restrict answer in between, not in between 130 words, restrict your answer. Don't write too much, because already we had a discussion that for each and every answer, descriptive answer, 15 questions answers you have to write. So 6 minutes only you get for each and every answer, and that too also in that 1 minute for thinking and planning, and then 5 minutes for execution of the answer, writing of the answer, and 1 minute again you have to revise the answer. So stick to the word limit, don't write too much. Now whatever the answers I have evaluated, of course I shared with you that AA evaluated answer scripts also, but I'll also evaluate manually each and every answer. See, if I go through your answers written and submitted, some words are not appropriate or relevant to the context. So you need to use the right words, because the diction or whatever the words, choice of words shows your nature or your mind, what actually is happening inside your mind. So the choice of words is actually decided by the mood of our mind. If you are positive, if you are having this kind of positivity, happiness and joy, you use good words. So the choice of words must be very specific and appropriate and relevant to the question asked. Be very specific in that matter. And then second one is, whenever you write any answer, I already told you, you need to mention the name of the literary work, the name of the literary writer who created or produced that work, and then you have to write some details about when it was published or when it was played and all those things, and then you have to come to the context and the content of the text, original text. That means you have to take the original lines, show the original poem stanzas, and you have to write those things in your answer. So quotations, more quotations, maximum try to use the original sentences or original lines from the work of art. Okay, that is the first thing. And then don't forget to write the names of the characters. You cannot write heroine, protagonist, antagonist or some other minor characters. You have to mention the names of those characters. The more the number of characters you mention in each and every answer brings more authenticity, value to your answer. Okay, and then avoid repetition, because when I'm going through, the one single point is explained twice. The same point is explained twice with two different types of sentences. So avoid repetition of information. You have very limited time, so in that time only and in that limited space only you have to write. So avoid a repetition of same information. That means writing the same point again and again won't give you fetch good marks. So avoid repetition. And grammar, of course, is okay, but still we have to improve in grammar, expression I mean to say, and don't commit any spelling mistakes, and don't write any kind of wrong expressions. Grammatically the sentence must be always correct, because prepositions, when you use in what you call, whenever you write a sentence, mostly we go wrong with the prepositions, or we go wrong with the noun form into verb form into the noun forms. So be very clear when you are writing. When you write, you have to be very clear, and don't use a word when you don't know the meaning of that word. You understood what I said? Never use any word in your answer if you don't know what is the meaning of that word, because what it happens, you might have remembered some important words from the play or a text or a poem, you directly bring in those words into your answer, but you don't know what is the meaning of those words. Then your sentence will not be grammatically correct, and as well as in expression way also there must be some lack or flaw in your sentence. So use those words only when you know the full meaning of that particular word. And when you are writing in present tense, use present tense only. If you want to write in past tense, write past tense only. Don't mix those two tenses. Okay. And then facts are missing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You are writing the information, but in that information you have to produce the facts. You have to show the facts with the help of true lines, exact lines drawn from the poem or taken from the play. Exact lines you have to write. Then only the answer becomes more and more valuable. And then some answers have some kind of ambiguity. That means when I interpret the meaning of those lines, there are 2-3 different meanings comes, but that means you have written your answer in one way, with one thought, but as a reader, when I read the same answer, I feel something else. This is one of the most important areas we have to correct ourselves, because when you express your idea, when you write a sentence, that sentence should not have any kind of ambiguity. There should not be any kind of a confusion. It should be very clear and direct to the point. Otherwise you wrote something, I understood something else, then there will be no chance of getting out and out marks. So these are the important points. Comparatively, first answer to second answer, the second answer improvisation is obviously of course there, but there is lot more things to be done properly, and we have to improvise more. Otherwise, I don't want to take names of you. You all have cleared Tier 1 examination. That I know very well. You have qualified and you came into that merit list or the cream layer of the exam aspirants. I know that. But the main difference is here with your writing skills. I don't say that your handwriting should be very good and clear. You should have a legible handwriting. And when I see your handwriting, many of you are very sensitive people. I can understand, because that is another science called graphology. Through graphology we can understand the nature of the people. 60 to 70% we can understand. So according to the nature also you need to be very clear, because if you are very sensitive and shy in nature, then even in expression also you feel the same thing. And some teachers, I mean, I don't know, take names, some are very bold in nature. So bold in nature means they write with a very big letters, I mean font size also big. Then the space provided for you in that answer script may not sufficient. Then you will write on some other question lines. So I have to understand, and you also have to understand your nature. And then another one which I want to tell you, that don't do overwriting. You have written something, cut, and then again you have written something else. It shows that you don't have you have lack of clarity in your thoughts. If we have lack of clarity in our thoughts only, we stammer, we struggle to speak, and at the same time when it comes in writing, we can't write fluently, we can't speak fluently, and we can't write clearly. So there must be something wrong with our thought. That is the reason why. So all these are psychological issues. As Prince told, your answers are going to be evaluated by another human. So you have to please a human being. Okay, so the way of writing, the style of writing, the choice of words, the punctuation, the clarity, and your handwriting all plays very important role. Okay, I don't suggest now to change your handwriting. Whatever handwriting you have, and you continue with the handwriting, but write very clearly, legibly, presentable. Okay, what you write is important, but how you write is more important. So remember this line: what answer you write, what content you write is important, but how well you present that content is more important. So this is a small feedback. I was also wondering, those people who are taking admissions or who are conducting classes online YouTube, they take hundreds of students, or they are ready to take hundreds of students for tier 2 examination. I was afraid of 9 to 10 people only. I was scared how to evaluate answers. It will be like, very big task for me. Then suddenly somewhere it clicked in mind, there must be some tools even to evaluate descriptive answers in the AI generation or AI age. Okay, then I searched on YouTube and then find two to the different websites where they offer free services for 1 or 2 scans, and I used that one, and I had some, I even shared that report in the WhatsApp group also. So if I try to use, then I can even evaluate hundreds of papers, but I may not go for that. I will use them, I will do the manual, what you call, checking of the papers only. And my request is, if you can share your answer, this question answer, tomorrow by 2 p.m. before leaving school, I can take printouts and I can come to home, I mean staff quarters, and I can spend half an hour to 45 minutes to read and check and write and all those things. But if you send your answer script after 3:50 or 3:40, it is not possible for me to take printout. So this is my request, and let us go to the question. So this is the question given to you. Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock is celebrated as a masterpiece of the mock epic poem. Analyze how Pope uses the grandiose structure, style, and conventions of classical epic poetry to satirize the trivialities of fashionable 18th century English society. Focus on his treatment of the central incident, the portrayal of the heroine Belinda, and the role of the supernatural missionary. So let me first share this question in WhatsApp. Okay. Exit full screen. Okay. So I have created some answer, but when you write answer to this poem, as I told you yesterday, you need to bring so many lines from the original text or original poem, and important features of the mock epic and characteristics of mock epic, and how this epic machinery or features of epic is being ridiculed in the mock epic. So all those things you have to write. One example answer I had written. Let us go through the answer. Okay. Mahesh sir, can you please read?
Uh, Pope's The Rape of the Lock masterfully uses the mock epic form to satirize 18th century high society. He elevates a trivial incident, the cutting of a lock of hair, into a grand epic battle, employing epic conventions like invocations, supernatural machinery, and elaborate battles. Belinda is his mock heroine. Her morning routine becomes a divine arming scene, and a card game is described as an epic war. The sylphs and gnomes parody the gods of classical epics, intervening in petty human vanities. Through this exaggerated grandeur, Pope wittily critiques the vanity, idleness, and exaggerated passions of the fashionable world, revealing the profound silliness beneath its refined surface.
Right, thank you. It is AA created. I have not written by myself. It is AA created. Now let us find out the mistakes in this answer. I'll give you 1 minute time. Go through this answer and find out what are the mistakes or what can be included into this answer so that it can become better answer. So 1 minute, you please all of you read. See, now this is an example answer. You have to write in your own style. Everybody has their own style. Always remember this one. You should not change your style too much. For example, when I write like books or whatever I write, I try to address directly to the readers. That is one of the styles. You have to, that means I address, if you read my books, or if you have already my book, you open the pages and if you read the content, it will be like directly the writer is talking to the readers. So that is one of the styles, and I follow this style, that whenever I write, it must speak to the reader. It's not like the reader has to read the content. Whenever he start reading the first two lines, he should see or he should feel that the book or the page is actually talking to him. So likewise, you have to pick up your style. Whatever style you have to refine that style, and you have to write your answers, all answers in one particular style. Then what happens? The first answer, when the exam evaluator reads, he will unconsciously he will get familiarized with your writing style, and if you maintain the same writing style for remaining 14 answers, he will feel a kind of, or she will feel a kind of comfort in his brain, and automatically it gives a kind of a relief and relaxation, and it helps you to score more and more marks. So understand what is your style of writing. Whether you want to write too critical, grammatically correct, perfect sentences with bombastic language, or you are always comfortable writing simple, easy sentences, clear in answer, clear in expression, simple words, easy grammatical sentences. Likewise, if you construct, fine. Or if you are happen to have this kind of a complex nature of constructing difficult sentences, mixing 2-3 different sentences into one single sentence, that is also fine. That is also fine. There is nothing wrong. The thing is, if you write an answer, for whom you are writing an answer, not for you, you are writing that answer to please and impress the evaluator. So how an evaluator feels impressed? As we are all teachers, you also evaluate papers. Everybody must have evaluated papers here. When do you feel happy and when do you feel relaxed and excited to evaluate any answer paper? If it is well written. Well written in the sense means what? Technically, if the question number 1 and question number 15 are in given the sequence, if the answers are also written in the same sequence, it gives a comfort to evaluate. That means all the descriptive answers, if possible, I don't say compulsory like children, if possible, write in the same sequence, like question number 1 to question number 15, write in the same sequence, don't change the sequence. Then what other things can give comfort to the examiner? Your handwriting, if it is legible without any overwriting, then it pleases the eyes of the evaluator. And then another area of writing is maintain proper space or a margin, left side, right side, top and bottom. Don't completely write the entire page, okay, or don't write half of the page, or don't start writing from this and don't go in this fashion. Some of us write, first line will be this side, second line come like, and it will be go on towards right side. So this is a writing style. Okay, so pick up your writing style, understand your writing style, but also follow some rules, some kind of rules which makes your answer to get more marks. Okay, so we are all teachers, we know how to write, I know how to write, but when it comes in implementation part, there we forget. That is the reason why I'm telling all these things. So you understand, analyze your writing style and follow the same writing style. Write in a sequence and write legibly, clearly, avoid overwriting, cuttings and all those things. And whenever you write any answer, whenever you start writing any answer, try to start in a fresh page. That means don't start writing any answer in the middle of the page or at the bottom of the page. Always take a fresh page and write. If I could remember, they will give you 32 pages booklet to 40 pages booklet. Okay. No, we don't know, because it is now, this is objective and descriptive part. When I wrote, it is purely completely descriptive part. So they had given us question come answer booklet like UPSC. So in UPSC, they will print the questions and they will give the enough space, required space to write that answer. So in that space only you have to write. But now as it is both objective and descriptive, whether it is very clearly mentioned in the instructions or not, I don't know. I haven't read or I don't remember whether the OMR sheet has one different question paper and descriptive answer has a different question paper with answer sheet. So that I also don't know. If anybody knows, you can pass the information to all of us. So these are the minimum, bare minimum skills we have to acquire to write our answer in the most presentable manner so that we can fetch out and out marks. There may be so many other techniques will be there. If whenever I remember, whenever I recollect, I will share with you all. So this is about today's class. It is 8:30 and let us end the recording. And if you have any questions or doubts, let us spend 5 more or 10 more minutes and then we'll complete today's class. So let me stop recording now.